Welcome back, everyone. I've been seeing some chatter around about Cameco, and well, this is chatter within the uranium community. I'm sure many generalist investors probably don't even know how to pronounce Cameco at this point, but there has been a bit of chatter that I've seen on it, and I did say something on Twitter a while ago, but this isn't about that. This is just me explaining my thought process on what's going on with Cameco right now. So before I get into most of this video, which will have a bit of a negative tinge to it, but you'll see where that's coming from. I just wanted to say that this is not because I don't like Cameco's assets or I don't like the management or anything. Nothing could be further from the truth. I think their management has done a fantastic job, and I think that in the coming years, when this uranium move finally starts, Cameco is severely undervalued at present prices. This is just me explaining why I think what I think is going on recently with Cameco. Okay, so I'm sure everyone here has seen or read or believes, or maybe not, but has heard the line uranium is eventually going higher or something like it. The thing is, the price of uranium has been depressed for a number of years. So this story, this future, is nothing new. And so any generalist who heard this or who thought about this or who believed in this and just kind of Googled uranium stock, they probably came across Cameco, and it's basically been the only one above $1 billion. Now, the market cap has been above $1 billion and should stay there. But if you look at the valuation metrics of Cameco compared to most other either tier one or, if you discount it, different tier value uranium assets, you'll probably see that some of the other ones might look a bit cheaper. Now, is that to say that Cameco is expensive in the grand scheme of things? No, maybe not. But if you look around the uranium space, Cameco has definitely been the place that the money has been going. And if you look at moves down from the peak in '07 or thereabouts, depending on the stock, Cameco has held much more of its value than any other uranium equity. I believe I'd have to check that, but it has not gone down as much because of the quality of the assets. So now it could be reasonably viewed as less cheap. Then a while ago, Cameco had some tax ruling and that went in their favor and they jumped. The price of the shares jumped because they all of a sudden were getting a whole windfall of money. So this was not to do with the uranium price. Obviously, it was due to tax court. And at the time, it felt like a sell the news event, but because it had no follow through. It wasn't Cameco was off to the races. It wasn't uranium was off to the races. It was a one-time event that potentially could have been predicted by some of the market. Now, after that, it went into consolidation mode. And when that happened, when it was consolidating around that range, well, the spot price of uranium, and I know, trust me, I know what you're going to say to this when I talk about the spot price. But the spot price was at 30, then it moved down while Cameco was consolidating. And remember, not only does the spot price matter for the equities, but if you're a generalist investor, you're invested in uranium, you see a company, you see the stock moving sideways. Okay, what's happening with the spot price? Oh, it's going down. Oh, that's not good. And yet the stock is still moving sideways. Can we wonder what would happen next? Similarly, on the uranium story, as I was saying before, Cameco used to be the only big play. It used to be the only company in uranium with big assets, diversified cash flow, um, multiple mines, all the good stuff. And I know there's some other good companies out there, but I'm just saying big billion-dollar plus companies. It used to be the only one. Well, then Kazatomprom IPO'd, and now there are two. And again, with the generalist investor theory, there's more than one place for money to go in the big uranium space. And that has more potential to bring down the valuation of what used to be the only game in town. Another thing I've seen is people saying that Cameco is in a great position. Now, I don't disagree that they're in a great position, but a lot of people will point to their billion plus in cash and then their possible other 700 million or so in the TEPCO ruling, which could come out soon, meaning they'd have plenty of cash to maybe buy an asset at the bottom of the cycle if they believed it was the bottom of the cycle. And again, they have the information, so they probably have a good idea on how that's going. But they also have $1.5 billion in debt. So their net cash position really isn't as open and strengthening as some seem to point to when they talk about all the cash they have. What if they decided that what's best is for them to delever their assets, hunker down, and wait? Well, then all of a sudden they have enough cash, but they don't have, let's go shopping for world-class deposit cash. So to conclude my little rant about Cameco, they really do have some world-class assets. They have great management, and the important part is they have a price to go along with it. So the price really is key when looking at an equity. Now, I would absolutely love to buy some equity or some options in Cameco if it was valued in line with what I saw its peers valued at. And if you were to ask me, snap judgment, do I think it'll be higher or lower in 3 years? I'd say higher. 5 years? Higher. And I wouldn't really hesitate. But I'm just saying that right now, it's not necessarily the cheapest. Now, that being said, I'm not saying I believe Cameco is going to go back down to $8, $10, whatever. Selling could be done. I'm just seeing a lot of talk about Cameco, and I made a comment before, and I'm just explaining why I said what I said. And so the selling could really, really already be over. I'm not making a short-term judgment. I don't know. But this is just my theory about what has been happening recently. Well, that's it for today. I had planned on doing some non-uranium videos, but I figured I saw some stuff on Cameco and I just had a few things to say and thought you guys would forgive me for doing another uranium video. But again, I really like the fundamentals of Cameco, like the story, like everything they have going on. Just hoping I might be able to get an in at a slightly lower price. But in a few years, I believe they will be much higher. So I don't hate the stock by any means. And with that, I will wish everyone a great day and hope to catch you next time. Hey everyone, just quickly, you can read this here or in the description of any video. Just remember, what I do and say here is meant to be a helpful supplement or thought filter for your research, not a replacement for it. I can be wrong and I'm often quite early, aka wrong for a good while, which is why none of this is ever investment advice.